Hello and welcome to the day ahead. It's Thursday, January 8th. I'm Andrew Gagan. Well, the local market is set to open lower, with ASX futures off by around 0.1%. Global equity markets ended mostly lower overnight as investors monitored the latest geopolitical developments after the US seized a Russian-flagged Venezuela-linked oil tanker. On Wall Street, investor sentiment was tempered by underwhelming jobs data. Gains in AI-related stocks boosted the Nasdaq, while a dip in banking stocks weighed on the Dow. Among the tech stocks, Microsoft, Amazon and Alphabet all climbed as investors jumped back into AI stocks following recent concerns that they were overvalued. Nvidia initially made gains on reports that the Chinese government has asked some tech companies to temporarily halt plans to buy its H200 AI chips. Memory and storage tech companies gave up some of their gains following recent rally. And shares of streaming giant Netflix rose as Warner Brothers Discovery's board unanimously rejected competitor Paramount Skydance's revised $108 billion bid for the company. JP Morgan Chase fell after a broker downgraded the bank to peer perform from outperform. Precious metal stocks fell heavily as the price of gold and silver pulled back. And later in the session, shares of major US defence contractors fell after President Trump said he wouldn't allow defence companies to buy or to issue dividends or buy back their own stock until they invest more in production and research. Well, the US has seized two Venezuela-linked oil tankers in the Atlantic Ocean, one of which was sailing under a Russian flag, prompting condemnation from Russia. Meanwhile, US Secretary of State Marco Rubio says he plans to meet with Danish officials next week as the Trump administration makes clear its intention to take over Greenland, with the White House saying it's discussing options for acquiring the island administered by Denmark, including the potential use of the US military. Well, US job openings fell more than expected in November after rising marginally in October, while a separate ADP report showed that private payrolls increased by 41,000 jobs in December, which was less than expected. US Treasury yields have fallen in choppy traders considered the latest labour data following a mixed picture on the US economy ahead of Friday's highly anticipated jobs report for December. The yield on the 2-year note was at 3.47%, the 10-year falling 4 basis points to 4.13%. And the US dollar little changed. The Aussie is trading at 67.2 US cents. Oil prices have fallen as President Trump's plan to refine and sell Venezuelan crude raised concerns about the long-term impact of US actions. Brent fell around 1% to $60 a barrel. Gold prices have fallen close to 1% as investors book profits, spot gold at around $4,460 an ounce. Copper fell heavily from a record high in the previous session, while nickel tumbled from a 19-month peak as an early rally in industrial metals lost momentum. Bitcoin is lower. It's trading at around 91,000 US dollars. Locally today, we get November trade data. And on the corporate front, BlueScope has rejected the $13.2 billion takeover offer from SGH and Steel Dynamics, with the steelmaker's chair, Jane McAloon, saying the company was worth considerably more than what was on the table. That is your day ahead. We'll see you again tomorrow.